Hello, we will explain the matching technique. To illustrate this, let's take the fictitious example of an observational study in real-world settings where we followed participants who wanted to get pregnant. 20 of the participants reported playing high-level sports, the so-called exposed group, and 60 did not play sports or just as a hobby, the control group. We want to measure the association between high-level sport and chances of pregnancy. Moreover, it's known from the literature that having a BMI greater than 20 can influence the chances of pregnancy. In order to neutralize the influence of these confounding variables, the matching technique will be used. We will select a participant who does not practice sport with a BMI greater than 20 for a participant who practices high-level sport with a BMI greater than 20. Matching, therefore, consists of selecting for each subject in the group of interest a subject in the control group who is comparable with respect to one or more covariates likely to be the result of the planned analysis. In our case, an alternative would have been to select 2 participants in the no sport group for 1 participant in the high performance sport group. This technique increases the number of participants in the no sport group. Do note that in order to select each control participants for an exposed participant, it's necessary to ensure that there are enough control participants in the no sport group. Let's continue the illustration by now considering age, which is a known factor that can influence both the fact of practicing sports and the chances of pregnancy. Let's consider age as a continuous variable and see how to match on this variable. We will calculate the difference in age between each participant in the high-level sport group and the no sport group. This difference is called distance. In reality, it's difficult to find a participant who has exactly the same age, i.e. a distance equal to 0. We will therefore select the participant from the control group who most resembles the woman who practices high-level sport, i.e. who has the smallest distance. This method, the most used, is called the nearest neighbor method. In our example, we retain the participant of the control group with a distance of 1 year. We repeat the operation for all the subjects in the group of interest. The major disadvantage of matching is that there is no guarantee that all subjects can be selected in the end, especially the deletion of participants in the control group. Let's go back to this example. There are 7 participants practicing high-level sport with a BMI greater than 20 and 45 participants not practicing sports with a BMI greater than 20. We decided to match 1 participant to 1 control to neutralize the confounding variable, BMI. It's possible to select a maximum of 7 participants from the no sport group for the 7 women in the high-level sport group. It can be seen here that 38 women who did not participate in sport will be removed from the analysis. It's rare to want to control for the influence of a single confounding factor. If one wishes to use several covariates such as age, BMI, and presence of hypertension, this complicates the procedure, and as seen previously, it's possible to lose individuals. Moreover, as this technique is limited by the number of covariates, it's possible that a confounding bias remains. Let's go back to the principle of matching. The objective is to make 2 groups as comparable as possible in terms of the distribution of certain observed confounding variables. The idea is to mimic the effect of randomization in clinical trials. This matching technique creates a control arm similar to the exposed group among all possible subjects in the control group. Finally, this matching technique is one of several possible methods for making groups comparable, including the adjustment method, which is discussed in another video. Thank you for your attention.